Hello, everyone. Today I want to talk about how we have a new president, but he's pretty much the same as the old president and probably 10 presidents before him. Today I wanted to talk about how the Syrian debacle we had last week and what they're doing in Somalia and also what they did in Libya, also Yemen. And these are some startling facts that I have here. Let's see, Obama in 2016, his last year as president, dropped 26,171 bombs on the Middle East. That is exactly 3 bombs an hour, or 72 bombs a day. Not a big deal. I'd love to live there. Just they have rainstorms of a different kind. Since Trump's been president, in March of 2018, he killed 1,000 civilians in Iraq and Syria. So, like I said, new president, same as the old president. Obama was in war every day of his presidency. He killed we have killed 470,000 Syrians since we've been in conflict there. Right now, according to Ron Paul, we have 130 nations that we have military bases in, and we have 900 bases. Why we need that many bases? Who the heck knows? We just have the military budget came out, and it was $639 billion. Imagine what we could do if we only spent half of that on things to make a positive change instead of blowing people up. On contrary, we spent, $639 billion to give to the military, but we're only going to spend $186 billion on the people carrying out the war. So all those veterans that are coming back that have PSD and die and have families that are left to be taken care of, they only get 186 billion. Not too worried. They'll survive. No big deal. The U.S. has spent $596 billion, which on military. This was in 2016. The next 6 countries, which would be China, Saudi Arabia, UK, France, Russia, India, and Japan, equal a total altogether of $566 billion. 2016 in NATO, the U.S. spent $664 billion. The other 26 members total $254 billion. Man, I wonder where all that money's going. We're spending an awful lot of money, and it seems like not so much for everybody else. But hey, after we spend all that money, we are ranked number 1 in the world in military strength. So spend enough, and you'll be ranked number 1. Spend more than 6 of the next biggest spenders, ranked number 1. That's great. Love it. So part of this problem that I have a huge problem with what happened last week in Syria. I find it utterly ridiculous. Last year we bombed Syria and still haven't heard who was responsible. Just went out and bombed them. Still don't know who was responsible for the chemical attacks. Still waiting on that information. But we attacked them. Bombed an airfield. Same thing had just happened last week. There's chemical attacks 2 weeks ago, I believe. Instead of waiting for the investigation to happen like we do in America, innocent until proven guilty. But I guess that only matters if it's in our borders. Doesn't matter in foreign countries where it would be somewhat more important, I would think. But anyways, the chemical attack was supposedly done by Assad once again, supposedly with no evidence of it happening. We attack without any evidence, without any train of thought, without Congress's approval, which Trump is supposed to get, but obviously he's done it twice and has not gotten their approval. And here we sit. Now Russia's all pissed off. China's angry. We're already starting a trade war with China, which usually leads to war anyways. And you got three superpowers that are angry with each other. But hey, Trump's doing 4D chess. Just ask QAnon. He knows everything. What QAnon is just another whole subject, which I believe is just a shill and a distraction from the real stories. And I mean, after all these statistics, I look at them and I think, how is this even possible? How's it gotten this far out of hand where we spend this much money on military and refuse to spend and refuse to look at the results, which are, in general, terrible. Terrible. I mean, you have in Afghanistan a war that's been going on for 16 years, and what do we have to show for it? What do we have to show for it in Syria? Except for a whole bunch of elites and deep staters that have padded their pockets every day. Who owns Lockheed Martin? They're getting corporate welfare, which they probably haven't paid taxes in years. They're getting corporate welfare to build these. Then they're getting all the military contracts. So they're getting discounts left and right, and they're getting all the military contracts to do so. Same thing with Boeing. Corporate welfare, they get corporate welfare also. They're also building for the military. Who knows what other companies are doing this exact same thing? It's disturbing. But they've been getting away with it for years, just padding the pockets on the lives and the deaths of, like I said, 470,000 Syrians are dead since this conflict. Imagine sending your kids out to the grocery store, which they don't even have grocery stores because everything's leveled in Syria, and he just doesn't come back. Or imagine like not being able to sleep at night because you don't know if you're going to wake up in the morning. You don't know if a drone strike's going to come or a bomb's going to get dropped on your head. You don't know that. And you're just a civilian. You're just the person that doesn't either supports the government or doesn't support the government, but you're the little person that has no control or no say in it. It's absolutely ridiculous. But you're the one, we are the one paying the price for this. Imagine in America, imagine Assad saying, I don't appreciate how you're treating your veterans and allowing 40,000 to be homeless. So since I don't believe that's good enough treatment for your veterans, I'm going to bomb you. And they start bombing America. Imagine the outrage. Imagine the anger. Imagine waking up and a neighborhood next to you is flattened. And that's your life every day. You don't know if you're going to be dead or alive. I can't even fathom it. And then we wonder why these people are angry, why they want to get revenge, why we look like global bastards. I'm ashamed. I'm embarrassed for America. Enough is enough. When are we going to stop this mess? You cannot push your beliefs on other countries and trying to invade them for their gold and their silver and their minerals and their oil and their gas and their land, because there's a gas line that can be run through their country and it will financially benefit some deep state person or elite person. That's who we're fighting war for. We're sending our young people and our fathers and our mothers and our grandfathers and whoever into war, into battle, and they're dying for people to get rich. This has to stop. We can't continue this. Somebody's going to get angry. Somebody's going to do something they shouldn't. Somebody's going to push a button that they shouldn't. And it's going to be a disaster for everyone. But these are the people that are in control of the war machine and the military complex. Just millions and billions and trillions of dollars wasted. Imagine, look at America's infrastructure. Imagine we spent the almost $700 billion that we're going to spend in the military this year and took one section of the country and fixed the infrastructure. I mean, if you look at the infrastructure in America and then you go visit China, it makes us look like a third world country. And we're in deep trouble. China is outlasting everybody and is going about it in a completely different way. They're not spending trillions and billions and who knows how much on military. Yeah, they have a huge military, but they're investing into economical ways to help other countries. They're spending their money on helping other countries, building relationships. It's called the New Silk Road with other countries and making manufacturing partners with other countries. They understand what they need to do. Plus, they have a huge population. They've brought I don't know how many millions of people out of poverty in the last 5 years. It's an astronomical number. So while we're spending billions of dollars every year on war, they're spending billions of dollars on improving their infrastructure, improving their airports, improving their train stations, and building the new Silk Road, which Russia is a part of. Russia and China see the future. We are not the future at the rate we're going. We keep blowing up every country. We're like the kid on high school, or in elementary school on the playground. We're the bully. Except the problem is everybody else is growing up and evolving. And the problem is they're going to kick our ass now. Because we're like 35, 40 years old. And we're, 400 pounds. We're the 400-pound bully that can't get off the couch. Because all we're doing is sending death to other countries. I can't even imagine waking up and just finding houses leveled everywhere. And that's your life. It's ridiculous. And it saddens me. But if we don't stop this, we're going to have a huge problem for our kids' future. What's our country going to look like in the future? How many people are going to make angry? How many countries are going to make angry? How are you going to turn their backs on us because they're sick of the warmongering? It's going to happen. And every time China makes a new relationship trying to help people, it makes us look 10 times worse. Yeah, China's a bad place. It's communism. Nobody wants it. But guess what? They're smart. They're doing it the way we should be trying to help people economically, not enforcing democracy. But we can't do that because there are people at the top that are trying to make as much money off of civilians' heads, putting a price tag on civilian heads. They don't care. They don't care if they bomb a mall full of people, as long as it helps them get their money. Every war, every conflict needs a boogeyman. Look, we have Osama bin Laden. What happens? 16 years in Afghanistan. Osama bin Laden need a boogeyman. The leader of North Korea. We need another war? Here, let's just create another boogeyman. Is ridiculous. And it's been going on. It's the same strategy, same playbook for how long now? And we still haven't learned our lesson. We still just let the politicians do whatever they want. The last omnibus deal, they gave themselves raises. These people work on like 115 days a year. And they already made $175,000 a year. And they need a raise because they can't live on that? I mean, come on now. Why is every single one of them go in poor, or not poor, but go in with less money than what they have and come out millionaires? There's a reason for that. We got to start taking these lobbyists to task. Lobbyists should be illegal. Should not allow lobbyists. But we got same president creating war, creating conflict that we have now. I mean, Yemen, nobody talks about. There's people dying of hunger because they can't get food to the people because of the military action that's going on. This is disturbing. Kids dying every day. It's disturbing. We go into Libya. We'll make Libya better. We take out Gaddafi. He's tired, because he wants to go off and get rid of the petrodollar. What happens? They're now selling slaves in Libya. Boy, it must be a lot better in Libya. Thank God we got rid of Gaddafi. So if I'm a foreign country, what do we do to make them keep the petrodollar so our dollar doesn't die? Because when the petrodollar dies, the dollar dies. And when the dollar dies, we're in trouble in the U.S. because they'll be coming for us. And the yuan will be taking over the world. They just started their yuan-backed oil sales, and when people start using that and stop using the petrodollar and figure out the gig is up, we're in big trouble. But I hope for all our futures, mostly for my children's future, that this doesn't happen. War never solves anything. War will never solve anything. So, thank you for listening.